Hi, and welcome to the Holly C Podcast, a show about expressing your brilliance with ease and flow. I'll show you how to take the woo-woo out of the clouds and apply it to real life for effortless action. This show is for world changers and future world changers, so if you know there's more to life and you're wondering what's next, this is your show. Hi, I'm Holly, your host. I'm a speaker, author, teacher of health, wellness, vitality, and spirituality, and also a dragon spirit guide. In today's episode, we're going to continue our 5-part series on connecting with the 5 elements. So in traditional Chinese medicine, there's a philosophy or a branch of study referred to as 5-element theory. And in that branch of study, the core idea is that different organs in the body are associated with different elements in nature. The 5 elements are, in no particular order, they are water, fire, wood, metal, and earth. And we already connected with the elements of fire, earth, and wood in the 3 previous episodes of this podcast. And today we're going to connect with the element of metal. So people who have a strong metal element in them are very determined, they're very persistent, they're very strong, they may be leaders. And generally speaking, people will have elements of each element in their personality, but there often is 1 or 2 that will dominate. So we're going to connect with the element of metal, and this podcast is about letting go, actually, because when metal is out of balance, that persistence in, sticking to it and being dogmatic can work against you. It can make you stick it out at things that are not serving your higher good. So you could say perhaps you're stubborn, unwilling to let go of something, getting stuck, needing to move forward. That's what this podcast is going to focus on. So to connect with the element of metal and learn what it has to share with us, how can we balance this element within ourselves and take the characteristics and use it to our advantage as opposed to our detriment? We are going to enter the dragon spirit space. Everybody has a dragon spirit inside them. It is that voice within that craves adventure and exploration and growth and transformation. And it's also your connection with your heart and soul. It is a connection to that playfulness within. And through this connection, you're able to connect with the universe to receive wisdom and guidance from your heart and your soul. So to enter the dragon spirit space, we're going to take 3 dragon breaths. And what you'll do is you'll breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you breathe out, if you feel like letting out a sigh or sound like a go ahead and do so. And I'll walk you through it. So place your hand on your heart. Bring your awareness to your heart and to your core. So when people talk about their core strength, like their abdominal strength, the core within their abdominal cavity, their torso, as opposed to surface muscle, which would be like, biceps or triceps, things like that. So just focus on that word core and the core of your body. And let's begin. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. And again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And in through your nose and out through your mouth. Metal. Let's connect with metal. Let's connect with different metals. First, we'll start with nickel. So imagine perhaps a nickel in front of you, shiny silver nickel. It's like a solid nickel. It has some weight to it. Unlike something like aluminum, which is very flexible, bendable, light, very reflective, nickel tends to be shiny, but not in the same way, like a darker shininess, for lack of a better way to describe it. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. Now, when we talk about metal, think about lead. It's also even more solid, like heavier, stronger, cast iron, again, a heavy, solid metal. You can't tear a cast iron pan like you could tear a piece of aluminum foil. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. Now think about gold, like gold flakes, so light, so delicate, almost brittle. And if you were to put a gold flake on some water, it would float on top. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. But gold, so shiny, so iridescent. And one of the things the universe wants to share with you through this comparison is how the heavier, stronger, denser is quote-unquote less shiny. The lighter, the more delicate, the less solid tends to be more reflective. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. And yes, there are exceptions to this, and yes, it matters the format that the metal is in. But just consider this for a moment, that so too the quote-unquote heavier, and we don't mean in terms of weight, but the heavier your energy, the more you are attached to things the way they are, things being solid, like a bull or an ox. It's very different than a bird, which can fly high in the sky. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. So we talked about metal, about letting go of being so persistent and so determined, or being stubborn and dogmatic. How does that make you feel? Did you kind of dig in your heels? Did you do those very things we said it was important to let go of? Stubborn, strong, persistent in your thought, in your way of thinking. Breathe in through your nose and easy, relaxed breath out. Would you even want to loosen up on that just a little bit? And many of you are saying, no way, I like the way I am. And recognize that's your metal digging in, your element of metal within you, the nature of metal wanting to persist. Now, there is benefit to persistence. There is value to persistence. It's in our society, persistence is rewarded. Hard work is rewarded. Being flighty like a bee going to flower, or a hummingbird from flying from one to another. That's great for the bees and the birds. But if you want to grow crops, you need to plow through that field like an ox with a yoke on its neck, dragging a plow through the field, through the heavy dirt. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. Persistence is good, but not when it is heavy like that, where it is forced, where you force yourself to stay heavy and dense, when really, if the ox was given a choice, it would throw off that yoke and just still be its strong self, walking around the fields however it chooses, though, with that freedom, stopping for grass, lying down in the mud, taking a break under a tree, just doing what is in its true nature. Its true nature is not to be forced to drag a plow through a field. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. But you say then, how then do you plant crops? How do you feed yourself if you do not have the ox to help you? Good question, but have you considered that nature provides? That had the landscape that was there not be cleared away to create fields, that nature would know what to do. Now, we're not here to preach from a soapbox about development or farming. This is not the intention. It is to show you metaphors, analogies, to show you how your true nature, not forcing yourself to be the ox with a yoke around your neck dragging a plow, how your true nature would actually provide for you if you were to allow it. And it may involve planting some crops, but does one person really need that much field of vegetables or rice planted? No. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out. Now, how much more willing are you to let go of persistent ways of thinking? Still hesitant, right? That's okay. That could be your nature as well. Do you see how acknowledgement and appreciation of your true nature releases the need to dig into your true nature, as in dig in your heels and say, this is the way I am. I will not change. Breathe in through your nose. And breathe out. Relax into your true nature. Be persistent when you feel like being persistent, not because you've put a yoke on your neck and attached a plow to drag through field. Be persistent when fear stops you. Be persistent when your persistent old ways of thinking try to pull you back to being the ox with the yoke and the plow. But let go. Move forward. Don't be stuck in the mud. And on that note, we will exit the dragon spirit space with 3 dragon breaths. So breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. I'm just tuning in to see if the universe has anything else to say. Yeah, it just says, don't get stuck in the mud. So take that thought with you moving forward. As you go about your week, just pay attention to when you are energetically stuck in the mud, and whether that is from your own choosing, where you're choosing to stick with a persistent way of thinking that no longer serves you. Next week, we are going to explore the element of water. And that one should be pretty amazing. Right from the get-go, I was told to save water for last, because that's going to be the most powerful element that we connect with. So I look forward to reconnecting with you again in next week's podcast. A new episode of the Holly C Show, Express Your Brilliance with Ease and Flow, is released every Monday morning until we get to episode 84. And this is episode 71, so we have 13 more episodes to go. And after that, I'm not entirely sure what is going to happen. Dragon Spirit has been saying to me, my Dragon Spirit, my connection with the universe has been saying that at episode 84, it's time to let go. Don't dig in, don't force myself to keep making more podcasts. It's time to end the series of podcasts and move in a new direction so that I don't get quote unquote stuck. So I hope you will be listening in until we get to episode 84, and as new developments come about, I'll be sharing them with you. Actually, Dragon Spirit says to mention that the Dragon Spirit Mystery School is coming. That's the next permutation and transformation of how I share Dragon Spirit and connect with people. And on that note, that's the end of our podcast, and I look forward to reconnecting with you again very soon. Bye for now.